Welcome to Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Rungtip Chonapalai.
And I'm Supachon Klinsawan. And today will be the last live broadcast from Chulalongkorn University's Faculty of Communication Arts, Dr. Rungtip. As tomorrow we're heading back to our head office on Vipawadi Rangsit.
Well, we're going to miss this place. However, we like to thank the Chulalongkorn University and also the Faculty of Communication Arts for being so generous to us.
Yes, very nice they are. Heading on to the latest figure from the Emergency Operations Department of the Ministry of Industry has announced that as of now there are 16 provinces which are still flooded. 1.8 million households have been affected, which includes about 5 million people, while 610 have died and 3 people are missing.
The FROC and the BMA want to drain the remaining flood waters in and around Bangkok by December the 5th, which is the King's birthday.
Meanwhile, the industrial estates, Bang Pa-in Industrial Zone in Ayutthaya province is almost 100% dry, and many factories have resumed production. Meanwhile, the Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA, is supporting Thailand in the flood recovery's effort.
The Deputy Prime Minister and Chairman of the Future of Thailand Committee will be heading to Japan next week to talk to business owners and investors. The Department of Irrigation said the overall picture of the water situation is getting better. There is not much water left coming from the north. What officials need to do is drain the water quickly and try to help the areas that are still flooded.
Residents near Mahasawat Canal are thanking the Bangkok Metropolitan Administration for opening the sluice gates. However, after opening the sluice gates at Mahasawat Canal up to 1 meter, the water level at the other end of Twi Wattana is about 2 centimeters higher, including Bang Khae, Bang Bon, Nong Kham, Pasir Chareun have seen water level rise.
Residents want to know how officials plan to drain it. They blocked the roads for about 4 hours until they came to an agreement with authorities. Within 2 days, if the water has gone up to 10 centimeters, authorities need to come back and close the sluice gate little by little.
Meanwhile, the water in Salaya in Nakhon Pathom, the water is receding. However, small vehicles still cannot drive through, but the police station as well as other government offices are still open, though they moved near Mahidol University.
Today, the FROC, the BMA have a meeting together, and they announced that they are trying to drain the water in Bangkok so small vehicles can pass through all the roads. They hope to accomplish this by December the 5th, which is the King's birthday.
Right, but according to our professor, Dr. Seri Suparatit, says that is a bit unlikely, Dr. Rungtip. Anyway, the government will give out 5,000 baht for those who have been affected, and if the whole house has been damaged, they will raise the money to 30,000 baht. As for senior citizens and the disabled, they will get paid no more than 5,000 baht per household. This compensation will be available nationwide. The FROC and the BMA have come together and reconciled any past differences. They will work hand in hand in recovering Bangkok and the surrounding areas.
Residents in Garden Home Village in Don Mueang have removed the big bags. Along 16 kilometers, the water level is receding up to 10 centimeters, but waters have risen on the other side by about 2 centimeters. But the BMA will act quickly to pump the water out in northern Bangkok, especially in Don Mueang, Lak Si, Sai Mai, and the Hok Wa Canal. However, the water situation has gotten better in Don Mueang near the Hok Wa Canal. The water has a tendency to recede 1 to 3 centimeters. Lat Prao Canal is receding 2 to 4 centimeters.
Water at the San Sap Canal, the Lat Prao, Bang Khen, and Bang Su areas are all receding by about 1 to 5 centimeters. But waters at the upper canal in Thonburi have risen 1 to 3 centimeters. As for the garbage in Bangkok, there are about 9,500 tons, which is about 1,000 tons more than normal. 25 districts in Bangkok are still dealing with the lingering waters. The BMA is trying to manage the manpower in these areas and sending out workers in non-flooded areas to help the flooded districts.
The government will give 5,000 baht for those who have affected, and if the whole house has been damaged, they will raise the money to about 30,000 baht.
Right, so while the water situation in the overall Bangkok areas is getting better. It seems like the south is getting floods, especially in Pathalung, Nakhon Si Thammarat and Songkhla. Rains and heavy winds have been making it very dangerous to be even outdoors, Dr. Untip.
Well, the situation in the south is getting quite risky now. But however, now following JICA's pleas to further assist Thailand, the government together with the Real Estate Association and local authorities are now planning to drain out water from communities and schools in Rangsit. Deputy Prime Minister and Commerce Minister Kittirat Naranong reveals Japan International Cooperation Agency, or JICA, has pledged to further assist the government after being able to restore Rojana Industrial Park in Ayutthaya. JICA will send experts and action plans to help drain out water from communities and schools in the north of Bangkok.
JICA, the Thai government, local residents, and 3 real estate associations based in the north of Bangkok will meet tomorrow before draining starts next week. Meanwhile, many international insurance companies have denied to further insure factories in Thailand, Thai and foreign. DPM Kittirat says the Yingluck Shinawatra government itself will likely step forward in becoming an insurer and take any further risks of natural disasters.
Foreign investors, especially the Japanese, are more worried on the issues of recovery and long-term preventions. In every 10 factories flooded in this crisis, 7 were Japanese invested. The government's ad hoc rehabilitation body will at the end of this month meet with the officials in the Japanese government and Japanese businessmen to clarify the details of ensuring no disasters occur in the future.
Meanwhile, the Ministry of Industry will speed up the recovery process at Saha Ratananakhon Industrial Estate, where many Japanese investors are furious as flood waters are still high. Meanwhile, officials are explaining that it's difficult to totally drain out the entire 1,000 rai of the area, and they will add more water pumps and cut roads to divert the water.
However, some parts of Rojana are drying, but some areas are still have 20 centimeters of water. High-tech has doubled that at about 40 centimeters. Bang Pa-in is almost 100% drying, and many factories are resuming production.
Meanwhile, the governor of the Bank of Thailand, or the BOT, says the Monetary Policy Committee, otherwise known as the MPC, will have a meeting to decide on the interest rate. The floods have affected a lot more than expected, such as in manufacturing, travel, exports, as well as consumption. The CEO of the Bangkok Bank says the GDP of the fourth quarter will be minus 4% because of the floods that have affected travel, trade, manufacture, and property. For the whole year, the economic growth can be up to 1.3%. Before the crisis, it was expected to grow 3.2%. Though the Thai economy is expected to recover in the second and third quarters of next year.
The chairman of travel policy from the Federation of Thai Industries said the tourism industry has lost about 50 billion baht, or about 1.6 billion US dollars. More than 30 countries warn their citizens not to travel to Thailand. The tourism industry will take about a month to get back to normal, but that also depends on the government and whether it can restore confidence. It may need to step up and protect and take responsibility for tourists as well.
Investors in property and other sectors may have to delay their projects, mainly because they want to wait and see if the government can come up with clearer plans to prevent future floodings.
Associate Professor Sompok Manarangsan suggests that the government should sell bonds to help contribute to the 1 trillion baht damage to Thailand.
How to restore, how to reconstruct the country in both the household level and also in the provincial level, national level, because we can see that a lot of infrastructure have been highly affected from the flood. So the government should do both in the short term and also the long term with a more appropriate policy.
Flood waters going to the sea might pass through chemicals or other contamination water, bringing it all to the sea. Some are beginning to worry about the environmental effects to the seafood.
Meanwhile, Associate Professor Padamsak Jariyapan says not to panic. Groups of environmentalists do research and take samples of the water and the level of oxygen in it to check for contaminants. So let's hear what he has to say.
About what should be worry or not, I think at the moment, if the animal, mostly when they affect the animals, especially in aquaculture or culture animal like fish in a cage, or some mussels or some cockles, they cause a sudden death. This type of animal should not be should not be eaten, right? Because it's not fresh, and also it's maybe some contamination. But in the long term, if you many people worry about the contamination, its contamination is going to take quite some time, and it depends on what type of animals. So I think it's this thing is you have to try to find, try to understand what is the cause, or maybe what we call that it's a poison source. If they have a contamination by chemicals, I mean that if there's some evidence, that thing I think should be a concern, and we should try to monitor to understand, but try not to over what you call
over concern or panic. Nawanakon Industrial Zone is one of the industrial areas that got affected from the floodwaters.
Yes, and according to our Professor Seri Suparatit, he says within a few weeks that area should be dry and tidy, where more manufacturing can take place. Meanwhile, there are other areas in Bangkok which Professor Seri Suparatit thinks might not be dry before the end of this year. So meaning they're going to have a wet new year, likely. So that's more with that with Kun Darin Khong Akara. Darin Kap.
Thank you, Kun Supachon. That is right that Bangkok and their surrounding areas maybe cannot be dry by this new year, because there is a lot of flood water still flowing down to this area. Is that right, Professor Seri?
Yes, we saw that a lot of water is destined in the floodplain. Yeah, especially the neighboring of Bangkok in the northern part. Yeah, we saw so many water. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's bad news.
Yeah. Yes. So it's even though it's reducing, but the problem of how to drain the water out is very, really. I think it's a problem.
Yes. But there is a good news also that today the industrial estates, especially the Nawanakon Industrial Estate, tried to dry itself, right?
Yes. So we see this picture. Okay.
Yes.
This is the Nawanakon industrial estate. Okay. The area is, I think, the biggest industry in Thailand. It's maybe about only 5,000 right.
Yes.
Okay. So the amount of flood water here is about 7 to 18 million cubic meters. So, but now we have the capacity of pumping. I think it's nearly 900,000 cubic meter per day. So it should take. Actually, it's about 20 days. Right?
To drain it?
Yes, to drain this out. But the problem is that, if you drain within 20 days, there's still very limited capacity of the drainage capacity here and here. Yeah, only this way and this way. So that means that this dry and this is also cannot dry. There is be a lot of water. So you will see the significant difference between this and this. That's been we take the problem to the real estate itself, because all the die here a week, it's very weak now. So that means that it should take more than 20 days. In that case, you have to not pump too much. Otherwise, you see the big difference between the water level. It cause a lot of pressure. Yeah, that's the problem.
And why the upstream water, the northern flood water, is still coming down to this area and also Bangkok area?
Okay, we saw next picture.
Next picture, please.
Yeah, because of we survey today. We see that a lot of water in the floodplain. We call floodplain in the fields. Yeah, in the field here. You see. We think that the 240 million cubic meter, if it's drained out, it is finished.
Yes.
We say, but it cannot be like that, because still the water above the Pahonjotin Loss is also many. There are a lot of water there.
Ayutthaya area.
Ayutthaya area.
Yes.
And together with this still in the the high water level here. So it cannot drain really easy to the Chao Phraya River. Yeah, that means that it's always pushed into the so many canals in this one. In case of this Khong Song, Khong One. So many water still coming. That means even though the Bangkok area is dry, but the problem, how about the suburb area here?
Yeah, Pathum Thani and then Nonthaburi also.
Yeah. I think that it will be more longer than I think this is the end of this year. I think. Yeah.
So we should estimate it again.
Yeah,
that's
estimate.
when will all of this area will be dry.
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
thank you very much, Professor Seri.
Yes.
So we should prepare ourselves for the situation that we cannot have a dry New Year for this year. Kun Supachon and Kun Rungtip.
Thank you, Kundari. You could say that again.
Well, once again, we would like to thank the Chulalongkorn University and the Faculty of Communication Arts for their generosity and offering us the studio, offices, and
The
everything.
basic facilities and everything.
Yes.
As tomorrow we will be broadcasting this program live, of course, from our headquarters on Vipauri Rangsit.
You can check out our archive at the thaipbs.or.th as well as email us.
Right, and that's it for tonight's edition of Thai PBS English News Service. I'm Supachon Klin Sawan.
I'm Rungtip Chonapalai. Thanks for watching. สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ